Hello everybody, this is Jandy the Artsy-Rose, and welcome back to Niflheim's Strangest Night with Philippe, our dear one and only Philippe. Please tell me I did not hit that. Yes, I hit the right button. Let's continue with this half of chapter 3. Especially you, Philippe. I'm gonna tear you to shreds when I get my hands on you. Victor's voice was terrifying. He that fights and run away lives to fight another day. I ran for my life with Philippe in hand. Victor refused to back down and followed us like a starving dog after some food. When we left the mansion, we just ran and ran as fast as we could. We turned left and right as we tried to skip town when... I can't see Victor anymore. It looked like we'd finally lost Victor. I haven't run like this in forever. Seeing me exhausted, Philip caressed my back to comfort me. Victor is not the kind of man to give up that easily. I'm sure he's still looking for us. We have to get out of this world of Le Caprico. And to that, we need the king. And to do that, we need the king. I wonder what the king is doing right about now. We snuck into a narrow alleyway so nobody could spot us. The king is the type to really stand out, so I'm sure if we just ask around town, somebody will be able to tell us something. But there were so many people after us, so we'd have to disguise ourselves somehow. As soon as Philip finished saying that, the crack of a whip was heard. As we ducked and turned around, Orlando was standing in front of us, looking at us with stern eyes and with his whip in hand. This game of tag is over. First Victor, and now Orlando? I may not look it right now, but I'm a very busy person. I appreciate it if you'd stop wasting my time. Philip looked at Orlando very intensely. It doesn't matter how much any of you may interfere. Nothing will keep Jandy and I apart. Jandy, do not mention such repugnant words as romance and love in front of me, please. I don't care if it's you, Philip. I'll still send you to drown in the depths of the sea. My, how serious we are. I don't want you to involve us in this family fraud. Yeah, I mean, how did we even start? How did this even start in the first place? I can't remember how it all started. But nonetheless, the Easterners are our enemies. That hasn't changed. The union of Philip of the West and Jandy of the East would be an abomination to us all. That's the unwritten law of both our houses. Anyway, the only time you can enjoy all of this is right now. You'll just end up forgetting each other. As Orlando murmured that, somehow I got the impression that he seemed a bit sad. That's not true. I've loved the same person since I can remember. Even if she were to forget me somehow, I'd never stop loving her. And that's true even now. Philip looked towards me and smiled sweetly. Oh, Philip. Hearing how Philip felt made me want to belt out crying. That's just infatuation. Orlando's piercing voice remained as cold and merciless as before. Orlando. You're pitiful. It's the only way I can word it. When he heard me say that, Orlando was at a loss for words. His face made it seem like he felt a bit hurt. But he went back to his old self and laughed sarcastically. Thank you for the compliment. I'm a gentleman, so I don't tend to be violent, but... Orlando raided his whip. The sight of him doing that was extremely frightening. If you're not willing to listen, then I have no other choice but to use force. Jandy, stand back. But Philip? I'll fight to protect you. Philip tried to take a step forward. However, Philip's body leaned forward and fell to the ground, just like that. I will be right back. You're so mean! When I said that, Orlando gave me a crooked grin. I don't care if I'm mean or not. It suits me better than being called kind. I'm a gentleman, so I don't tend to be violent. But we gotta get to the next episode. Philip! When I tried to run towards Philip, as fast as I could, Orlando picked him up in his arms. It took more time than I thought for it to take effect. What did you do to Philip? I grabbed Orlando without thinking it through. Looking at me with his cold eyes, he flung me off of him. I haven't done anything. He fainted all by himself. Didn't you see it with your own eyes? That's a lie! He was totally fine earlier! Well, there's no reason to hide him anyway. I put a special type of concoction in his breakfast this morning. A concoction? Yes, it's supposed to make him lose consciousness if he tries to leave the west side. And that's why. Orlando flashed a beautiful smile. You can't get away, no matter how much you run. It can't be. Orlando started walking at a fast pace with an unconscious Philip in his arms. Wait! When I tried to follow them, zombies sprung up to stop me. You can't cross. We won't let you go. Lord Philip will be going back west with us. What are you creatures? Get out of my way! They are the zombies of the west. They were the ones that came to bomb my house in the east yesterday. And my loyal servants. That's not fair! Farewell, Miss Jandy. Orlando walked away gracefully. Please move! I tried my best to get the zombies out of my way, but they didn't budge. I could see Philip disappearing in the distance. Philip! Even though I knew what would happen if I screamed, I still couldn't just stand there without calling out to him. When the zombies finally let me pass, Orlando was nowhere to be found. I have to get Philip back. I have to go to the west. But Philip can't leave the west, or else he loses his consciousness. What should I do? Not knowing what to do, I rolled into a ball on the floor. And suddenly, someone called out to me, "Are you all right?" When I lifted my head, there was a strange-looking creature staring at me. It was covered entirely in a cloth, and only its glowing red eyes could be seen. Yes? I answered, still confused, to which the creature nodded. I am just a mere fortune-teller. I'm no vigilant. But there's something I thought I should tell you. I saw the whole thing, and I think you should stay away from that man. What did you say? This story was doomed to tragedy from the beginning. No matter what you two do, your ending will not be a happy one. Struggling won't do you any good. Are you saying that fate cannot be changed? Yes. I've loved the same person since I can remember. Even if she were to forget me somehow, I would never stop loving her. And that's true even now. Why must Philip and I always suffer through things like this? Hey, don't start crying here. I got myself back up, determined. Now I'm mad! The fortune teller seemed taken aback. A fated tragedy, you say? Very well, I'm gonna crush that fate with my bare hands! Just you watch! I will give this story a happy ending for sure! And that is all for now. I am Jandy the Artsy-Rose, and we will be back for the next chapter Sunday. I will see you all later. Bye-bye.